If you want to improve your English without stress or boring grammar books, stories are your best friend. You learn vocabulary, grammar, and sentence rhythm without even noticing. Before we jump in, do me a favor, subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss our daily English learning stories. Let's dive in. Leo had always wanted to visit Paris. There was something about the city that felt like a dream. Maybe it was the lights, the streets, the cafes, or the art. Whatever it was, it pulled him in. And one day, he finally found himself walking down the narrow sidewalks with a small backpack, a phone full of pictures, and eyes wide open. The highlight of his trip was supposed to be the Louvre. He had read about it, seen pictures of the glass pyramid, and imagined himself standing in front of the Mona Lisa, soaking in all the history. He planned his day carefully, making sure he arrived early, ready for the experience. Leo woke up feeling fresh. He had a quick breakfast at a small cafe near his hotel, then walked through quiet Parisian streets toward the museum. It was one of those cool mornings where the air felt clean, and everything around him looked like a painting. As he approached the Louvre, he stopped to take some photos. The pyramid was even more impressive in real life. People were already lining up. He pulled out his phone, took a few more pictures, then reached into his pocket for his wallet. It wasn't there. At first, he didn't panic. He checked his other pocket, then his jacket, then his backpack. He laughed a little nervously and started going through everything again, slower this time. Still nothing. Now, the panic started to rise. His heart began to beat faster. He moved to the side of the path, sat on a low stone bench, and emptied his entire bag. Still no wallet. His mind raced. Where had he last seen it? He remembered paying for coffee. Yes, at the cafe near his hotel. He remembered putting the change in his pocket. Maybe it had fallen out? Maybe he left it on the table? He grabbed his phone and searched for the name of the cafe. He started walking quickly, retracing his steps. The streets that felt peaceful before now looked unfamiliar and confusing. Every minute that passed made him more anxious. As he reached the cafe, his heart sank. The woman who had served him earlier was gone, replaced by someone else. He tried to explain the situation, pointing to his pocket and then the table where he had sat. The man behind the counter didn't speak much English, but he understood enough to shake his head and gesture that nothing had been found. Leo stood there for a moment, unsure what to do. He stepped outside and leaned against the wall. He felt lost. His wallet had his cash, his cards, his ID, everything. Without it, he couldn't buy anything, couldn't get inside the museum, and couldn't even get back to the airport in a few days. He tried to stay calm. He sat on a bench near the cafe and started thinking. His phone was still with him, thankfully. He opened a travel app and looked for the contact number of his bank. After wading through the long voice menu, he managed to freeze his cards. Then he called his hotel to let them know what had happened. The person at the desk spoke good English and told him not to worry. They would help him call the local police to report the lost wallet. That made Leo feel a little better. But he still had no money, and he was far from the Louvre now. The morning had turned from exciting to exhausting. He walked slowly back toward the museum. His energy was low, and his mind kept repeating the same thoughts. What if someone was using his card right now? What if he couldn't get his wallet back? What if he had to go home early? When he reached the Louvre again, the line was longer. and he didn't even try to get in. He just sat down on a stone ledge near the entrance, watching people laugh, take pictures, and walk in with excitement. He felt like the only person in the world who wasn't enjoying the moment. But after a while, something inside him shifted. He started to look around more closely. The people, the old buildings, the sky reflected in the glass pyramid. It was still Paris. He was still here. The day had gone wrong, yes, but he was still in one of the most beautiful cities in the world. He opened his phone camera and took a photo of the scene. No museum ticket, no painting, no official tour. Just the outside world, the real one. It was still worth remembering. Later that afternoon, Leo walked back to the hotel. The receptionist gave him the address of the nearest police station, and he went to file a report. The process was slow, but the officers were kind. They wrote down his details and gave him a paper in case he needed to show proof to anyone. Back at the hotel, Leo took a deep breath. He sat by the window and watched the street below. A group of tourists walked by, laughing about something. A man played music on the corner. Life continued, even after a terrible day. He opened his notes app and wrote down everything he had learned. Always keep your wallet in a safe place, never carry all your money in one pocket, and most importantly, don't let one bad moment ruin a whole experience. That night, Leo didn't go to a fancy restaurant or visit another tourist spot. He went to a small grocery store near his hotel and used a few emergency euros he had hidden in his luggage. He bought a sandwich and a bottle of water, then sat on a bench by the river, eating quietly and watching the water reflect the city lights. And somehow, it felt perfect. If you followed Leo's adventure, you picked up tons of real-life vocabulary, useful sentence structures, travel expressions, and storytelling grammar. That's the magic of learning through story. It sticks with you because it feels real. We drop stories like this every single day. Fun, simple, and powerful. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss a single story. Now, it's your turn to join the conversation. Have you ever lost something important during a trip? What did you do? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience can help others feel less alone. See you tomorrow with a brand new story.